Welcome to the Chico State University Farm. My name is Kaylee Vonish, and I am here to explain the devised organic system plan for the sheep and goat unit at the University Farm. The sheep and goat unit rests on 25 acres and houses 103 ewes, 120 lambs, 6 rams, 29 does, 13 kids, and 1 buck. All animals will be on pasture at least 1/3 of the year. They will have access to shade via large trees strategically placed along fence lines or in the barn when inclement weather is present. The shelter will provide exercise space, sunlight, ventilation, and protection from injuries and predators. This particular dairy will not process the milk on its own and will instead sell in bulk to Sierra Nevada Cheese Company in Orland, California, who sell a variety of goat milk cheeses that are all single herd offerings. National organic program standards require that farmers take measures to conserve resources on the farm. At the sheep and goat unit at Chico State Farm, we will strive to conserve resources through practices such as drip irrigation for water conservation and practice no-till, plus cover cropping for soil conservation. Currently, the sheep and goat unit grows white clover, orchard grass, and Bermuda grass out on its 25 acres. Overseeding of some cool season annuals such as ryegrass will provide lush, high-protein forage in the early spring before many other grasses are tall enough to graze. A high tannin forage such as birdfoot trefoil would be beneficial in terms of pest management because it is toxic to parasites and egg production. Animals will not graze too closely to the ground because it hurts the plants and exposes parasite larvae. Organic dairy cattle will be allowed to graze after the goats to pick up the larvae and quote-unquote clean the pasture. To prevent selective eating and to promote organic matter through intensive grazing, 1 acre of land will be allotted to the goats on a weekly rotation. After each week, they will rotate to a new 1 acre paddock. Each paddock will be given a 30-day rest period. In total, 4 acres will be used for the goats. The sheep will be given 4 acres a week to graze on and rotated to another 4-acre paddock at the end of each 7-day period. Each paddock here will be given a 30-day rest period as well, and a total of 16 acres will be used. The remaining 5 acres of land designated to the sheep and goat unit will be used to grow USDA-certified organic hay that will be baled or ensiled and supplemented during late lactation and gestation periods when feed intake is at a high demand. Milkings will be twice a day. Young, healthy animals will be milked first, and oldest will be last. Calm, low-stress handling will be implemented during milkings to aid in reaching optimum milk production. All teats will be stripped before milking and dipped in iodine pre- and post-milking. After milking, a bulk tank cooler will chill the milk to 45 degrees Fahrenheit within 2 hours. Milking machine maintenance will include proper sizing and calibration of the vacuum system, monitoring the T/N vacuum level, proper pulsator ratios, as well as properly functioning pulsators, cluster and liner maintenance, and proper cleaning and sanitization of milking equipment. Our mastitis control program will measure somatic cell count at the mammary quarter, at the animal, and at the bulk tank level. Mastitis is a common concern amongst dairy producers. Should mastitis occur, aloe vera and echinacea tincture will be given orally 2 times daily for 3 days or as needed. Teats will be stripped every 2 hours, and liniment oil will be rubbed on udders. All mastitis cases will not contribute to the bulk tank. In terms of parasite and disease control, prevention is our first priority. However, should illnesses occur, here is a list of the NOP-safe products that we will be using. Aloe vera will be used for rashes, cuts, burns, and skin abrasions. Dandelion will be used for udder edema. Calendula will be used for skin abrasions, eye washes, and udder rot. Foot rot or hairy foot wart will be treated with hydrogen peroxide to disinfect the area and then wrapped with iodine or tea tree oil. Should an animal become severely ill and all attempts to use holistic NOP-approved products has failed, the animal will be treated with conventional medicines. The producer of an organic livestock operation must not withhold medical treatment from a sick animal in an effort to preserve its organic status. All appropriate medications must be used to restore an animal to health when methods acceptable to organic production fail. Animals that are treated with antibiotics on an organic farm must be clearly identified and sold separately into the non-organic market. Each individual animal will have a health record where any treatments will be logged. For dry doe health practices, teats will be dipped 2 times daily in iodine for 3 days. The does will be injected with 50 milligrams of vitamin E and 1 milligram of selenium per 40 pounds of body weight 3 weeks before due date. All kids will have their navels dipped with 7% iodine. Any weak or sick kid will receive 25 milligrams of vitamin E and 0.5 milligrams of selenium. They will be given tetanus, toxoid, and clostridial disease vaccines C and D 4 weeks before weaning and at weaning. They will also be given access to black walnut holes in crate feeders to help reduce the risk of intestinal parasites. Likewise, all adult animals will be vaccinated for tetanus, toxoid, and clostridial type C and D once yearly. There will be record keeping of these vaccines, along with record keeping of culling decisions, breeding, feeding rations, healthcare, and living conditions in compliance with USDA organic regulations. Lastly, contamination prevention measures will be taken by making agreements with neighboring fields to only apply pesticides and herbicides when wind conditions will not cause contamination to our fields. High shrubs will be planted along pasture lines to prevent contamination via wind or water, and pasture rotation will prevent parasite contamination of our fields. At the Sheep and Goat Unit of Chico State University Farm, every ounce of milk is tested to achieve the highest quality, without the use of antibiotics, pesticides, or growth hormones, and every animal's individual needs are met.